Welcome back to the crumpled up Supra build. If you're just joining us on this journey, I bought this crumpled up Supra off auction, sight unseen, for $5,500. In the first episode, I removed a lot of the front crash damage and we pulled the engine. Next episode, we disassembled the rest of the front end and we gutted most of the interior. Episode 3, we cut the front frame off and we opened $35,000 worth of parts. And finally, on the last episode, we started fixing the chassis, pulled the rest of the interior out, dropped the rear subframe, dropped the gas tank, leaving quite literally the bare chassis of a Mark V GR Supra. And on this episode, we are going to start off by cutting off the uniside. In order to do that, we just got to take off our gasket, our pillar trim, and our roof trim. That'll reveal all of the seam sealer and spot welds we have to sand out. If you've watched my previous videos, you will be familiar with seam sealer and spot welds. I like to hammer and chisel the seam sealer off so it comes off in chunks rather than dust. And then I use a file belt sander to get the spot welds off. We've been here before, we'll probably be here again, maybe not on this car, but on future cars. So let's get to it. Well, unfortunately, I broke this piece. Apparently that bolts in, doesn't just clip in. All right, so that was quick and easy. Obviously, not much holding that stuff on. So that was good news. I guess bad news, I broke the A-pillar, right? So that's not fantastic. The good news is most of the spot welds are gonna be super easy to get to, and there's honestly not even that much seam sealer to get off in the first place. Most of the seam sealer seems to be in this back corner. There is bad news, however. Let's start with the not really bad news. I knew this was gonna happen. Anyway, I have to take the front windshield off to get to the spot welds here. But the more bad news that I didn't know, I kind of was guessing, but I didn't want it to be true, is that the roof is actually on top of the uniside. And I can get to these spot welds here. So I'm hoping I can just get the spot welds off, leave the roof on, and kind of slide the uniside out. I really hope, because I do not want to take the roof off. I don't want to do more disassembly. At that point, the chassis is just gone. So I think next up, let's try to redeem myself on glass removal. I don't know if the glass is supposed to be shattering as I cut it. That's not super soothing. All right, so I don't think that this tool is actually going to get far enough in to cut all of the glue. And we're gonna switch to the T-handle and wire method here. For this, we're gonna use this long handle here to poke the wire through, attach our T-handles to each side of the wire, and kind of saw motion cut all the way around. Now, obviously, being new to all of this, I have no clue how much wire I need, like what length. So I'm starting with a pretty good amount. Oh look, I actually did cut this side off. But I think this wire method is gonna be easier for like this top piece, top section. Okay, so I think I got that set up right. Let's cut. Oh, okay, wire broke. I don't know how I'm gonna do this middle section. I'm not tall enough to reach. Oh, I can reach. Oh yeah, being tall. Nice. Oh, broke the wire. Let's see how far we get with this one. It's a lot easier when you take it off the right way. Some spots just don't cut. They get hung up on something, I don't know. All right, we're cut on both sides and the top, so we just gotta get this bottom piece. But I broke the wire. This is Amazon wire, but I don't know if I'm pulling too hard or if it's just, you know, weak wire because of Amazon. We'll never know, because I'll probably never buy anything else. Okay, making progress on the bottom. Good thing I have the firewall torn apart so I can reach my hand through here. Okay. Okay, now I just gotta pick this up somehow. Yeah! Look at that. Look at that, boys. Windshield out. You know, I'm gonna be honest, I think the car actually looks better. We're not quite done. We still have this black glue all the way up, and we have to get it from this back quarter glass as well. So next up, get this glue off, and then it'll be seam sealer and spot weld time. Now I have one of those utility knife scrapers, but I for the life of me cannot find it. But I think this is doing just fine. This one's good enough. I'm gonna be grinding out the spot welds here anyway. So moving to the front, I'm gonna get the thick stuff off with the chisel. All right, that is that urethane gone. It's very, very thin here. Unfortunately, can't really see my spot welds, but I can see them underneath. So like there's one here. There's a lot of spot welds here. They're about every inch. Okay, with that urethane off for the windshield, we are on to seam sealer. There's a lot less seam sealer on this uniside than there was on the front frame. So let's just start with this little bit right here. Okay, there's actually not a lot of spot welds. Yeah, like there's only 3 spot welds for this whole section, but there's definitely a lot of panel bond here. Like this red is seam sealer, or this yellow is seam sealer, and then the black underneath it is panel bond. So this whole section right here, 3 spot welds and some panel bond. Next up, bottom of the door, we got seam sealer all the way across the bottom. All right, that went about as well as I thought it would. I had to go around each one of these spot welds because there's tabs, and my arm's tired, but good to go. On to the next. Next up, right around the tail light here. Oh, man, guys. I did the wrong one. Guys, you gotta stop me before I do the wrong one sooner. I gotta do this one all the way out here. This one's part of the quarter panel, so that was for nothing. All right, I'm like 95% sure, got all of the seam sealer off. I think we're ready for just grinding out spot welds. So let's take a quick trip around, show you what all I have to do. So starting in the front, we just follow. Wherever it's not red is where I'm going. So we follow up, over, and we follow up the windshield, through the roof, down the hatch, around the taillight, around the wheel arch, and then back along the bottom. And then guess what? That's just the outside. We got to do all the way around the door, all the way around the glass. A lot of spot welds, a lot of panel bond. I have a good feeling this is gonna go way smoother, way easier than the front. So let's get started. Okay, that should be this window out. Can't really pry this out until I get around the door. So let's, well, I'll just start on the door right here where we are. Okay, I believe that is every spot weld around the door. So let's start chiseling out, see what we got. So far, so good. Guys, I'm getting a lot better at these spot welds. Still possible that I might have missed some. So far, we're a quarter of the way around the door, haven't missed any. Oh, I almost got, oh no. No, dang it. Well, hold on. Yeah, that's a spot weld. I almost made it all the way around the door. I missed one spot weld. Oh, disappointing. Now, this spot weld's 2 layers thick. Okay, hell yeah. Door, window, spot welds, all the way around. Done, that's all you gotta do. I'd say this is probably a quarter of the spot welds for the whole uniside, because this front section doesn't have like the back, yeah. So I would say this is probably a third, a quarter of the spot welds for the entire uniside. So I'm not gonna make you watch me do the rest. You guys get the point. So at this point, I just gotta do some work. Okay, next day for me, same video for you. I've been hard at work on these spot welds, getting this quarter panel ready to come off. And I hit a point where I'm ready to give you guys an update and teach you something that I learned. Before that, one thing, guys, I'm doing so much better with these spot welds. I put one hole in metal that's staying, and it was my first one. And then I was like, oh, I snapped back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. And I remembered not to put holes in. I haven't put a single hole in since then. I'm proud of myself, okay? Just thought I would brag, subtle brag. I put one hole in the car, guys. So we are off from the wheel well, down, over, up, and up the windshield, which means I have the roof and the rear hatch / bumper area. Which brings me to this wheel well, and where I get to teach you something that maybe you didn't know, definitely something I learned just now. So let's look at the new quarter panel real quick. You'll see that this wheel well comes down just like you see in the car, and then it has this lip. So that lip is pinched together, and it's very, very hard for me to unpinch this. So I did some digging around, and what I learned is you can just sand off this bottom until they become 2 separate pieces, and then they detach. So that's the quick update. That's what I learned. Let's get back to work. All right, so that's that was a great idea. Dude, I Google stuff, I learn how to do it. I show you guys how I do it, or how I learned how to do it, or how I didn't learn how to do it. All right, so that folded edge is off. Okay, now I'm gonna heat gun this because there's panel bond in here. So let me heat gun this and get this corner off. There we go. So we have the inner door and window all the way, front windshield all the way down and around to here. So we have from here up to the roof. And that's when I'm gonna check back in with you guys when I get to the roof. Because honestly, I'm not too sure what I'm gonna do there yet. I haven't decided if I'm gonna cut around the roof or get rid of the spot welds on the roof. I'll probably do the spot welds. But I'll check back in when we're up there. All right, checking in again. I have all of the spot welds all the way around the entire quarter panel, uniside. I have all of the spot welds around the entire uniside except for the roof. The reason why I stopped here, well, is one, I want you to watch me take it off. So when I get this roof section done, it should come off. Two, let's talk about the roof section. I think I've mentioned it before, but to refresh your memory, this roof skin is actually on top of the uniside. So I'm hoping I can just grind through the spot welds on the roof, and the uniside spot welds are in the same spot, they should be, and I can slide this out from underneath the roof skin. I really do not want to take off the entire roof just to replace this uniside. Another option is I can just cut around the roof, but I'm so far into taking this uniside off, I want to take the whole thing off and get a factory new uniside in there. So again, I'm off all the way around the entire uniside, except for the roof. So let's get this over with. Also, you may have noticed that I look kind of snazzy with my new PPE setup. I still hate glasses, still don't have gloves on, but the ear protection, hopefully I'm not yelling. The ear protection is my favorite because this is loud, hammering's loud. Ear protection is my favorite. All right, let's get this off. Okay, I need to remember what I learned on the front frame. If you remember on the front frame, I tried to do all of the spot welds on one side and take it off in one piece. And then I learned that there was actually spot welds that I couldn't even get to unless I cut pieces off. I've been peeling back metal like I have here on the back, and there's actually that same situation where there's spot welds that I can't get to unless I cut metal off. So change of plans, I'm gonna start cutting this uniside off in sections. So I'm fairly certain that the A-pillar down and around all the way to back here is definitely loose. I can pull on it. I'm gonna cut to the filler neck, cut up to the window, cut the A-pillar off, and then I can take this whole section off. So I'm gonna cut the B or C pillar. I don't know if this middle is a B pillar. I'm gonna cut the back pillar off so I can work on the back section, and then that'll make taking this top piece off way easier. So we cut it here and here, so this front section should come off. Yeah, okay. Look at that. Oh boy, boy. Oh boy, boy. Oh boy, boys. Okay, another piece off. Wanted to replace the quarter panel, and I took off not the quarter panel. That still has stuff we need, some bolts, some plugs that fill holes, and like the door striker. So I'm not gonna throw that away yet. I'll probably keep that until I'm 100% sure I have everything off of it. There we go, there, more of the car off. Let's move you to the back, take off the back section. Okay, back of the car. Now, this is easier to move because, you know, the front half isn't holding it in. And what I was talking about is it feels like there's spot welds here that are holding it, but I mean, it's pretty tight. So I'm gonna take these spot welds off, and then maybe I'll cut it up there, and we can just focus on that roof section. All right, I found the spot welds we need to get. So I'm gonna have to cut basically this off right here. So I'm just gonna cut across, and I should be able to get to more spot welds. This piece off, I'm gonna have to do more cutting, but I wanted a better sight first. Let me go put this away. Now I cut this piece off separately, because there's foam and glue holding it on. There we go. Looks like I wanted to cut in this crease. I couldn't really get the angle of the dangle in there. Here's some more spot welds. All right, let me grind these spot welds out. We're learning as we go, boys. You know, I don't know where all the spot welds are. There we go. Okay, this piece is about to come off. Having a hard time with seeing what's holding on here. Okay, I can't really see what's going on, so I'm gonna cut this section off. Okay, now that piece is off. Oofta, that one was kicking my butt. This piece is, I couldn't really get to this piece to figure out what was going on. So now that this is out of the way, I'm gonna get that corner off. There we go. Perfect. Just got the roof now. I'm gonna try to cut along this inside. Give myself as much room as possible. And I didn't nick anything else once. Now, we just gotta take this last little lip off, and the whole uniside's off. Oh, and this piece right here. Oh, cool. Never mind, got it. So I just gotta grind through the spot welds that I grinded off for the roof. I gotta grind through the actual uniside layer. Let's get this off. Here it is, boys, last piece. No, I don't want it in two pieces. I want it in one. I want it to be satisfying. There, yeah. Huh. There it is, it's out. The whole uniside, all of it. Front to back, not a single piece of uniside left, except for the left side, but we don't gotta take the left side off. And, one second, check this out. All right, I'm super, super proud of one thing. Look, all of the uniside off, front to back, and I think I told you guys I put one hole. I didn't. That hole literally existed. I was grinding out what I thought was a spot weld, wasn't even a spot weld. So when I went through the first piece of metal, I found a hole after, but it was an existing hole. That means I am super proud of myself. I didn't put a single hole in the car, taking this entire uniside off. I'm proud of myself. I gotta take this win, okay? Now, all we have to do is straighten this wheel well metal here, and we will be ready to put our uniside back on. Ready as in like I gotta sand everything and then weld through primer it and then test fit. But ready as in like that's the closest we've been on any of this car to welding a factory piece back on. That's super exciting. Having this uniside back on would be super cool for the end of the video, but I need to pull the firewall out 1/4 of an inch on the left side, the passenger side, and 1/8 of an inch on the driver's side to make contact with our new front frame. And I want to do that before I weld anything else on. Okay, now update on our transmission mount. This piece, this frame rail that goes back about halfway. It's called a center support on Toyota's parts website. And you can only get this part from one distribution center in the United States. Obviously, it's not a very common part for people to order. It is so uncommon, in fact, that this part is in the wrong spot at their distribution center. If you order this part number, I checked 4 different websites. If you order this part number, you get sent the driver's side. So we don't have this part yet. I ordered it. It took a week to get here. I told them, you sent me the wrong side. Took a week to send it back. Then they sent me another passenger side center support. It took another week to get here. I got the driver's side, sent it back. So it's been 4 weeks of me trying to get this part. Next attempt is this time I ordered both sides, and hopefully at least one of them's the passenger. If I order both sides like I have, and I get 2 driver's sides, we are really out of luck. I've called 3 different Toyotas and told them this scenario and told them, hey, I need you to call Toyota's main distribution center in the United States and tell them they have the wrong part in the wrong spot, because I need this part. The build is stuck. If I can't get this part, I'm gonna have to, well, I should say the build is stuck until I get that part, but there's plenty more we can do, right? I gotta pull the firewall, we can put the uniside on, and we still have to go through the motor. So there's plenty for us to do, but if I get all that done and we don't have this part, kind of scary. I know exactly what we should do. Let's put our new uniside on, see how that's gonna look. Oh, we could test fit the uniside and the frame, and we'll take a picture. Boys, this is so cool. Look at it, dude. Oh my God, I can't believe we've taken this much of the car off. It's so cool to see this. We've already seen the frame, but seeing it with the uniside too, oh, that's exciting. And from the back, look how, I'm so excited. I hope you can hear it in my voice that this is the coolest thing. Wow, that's a lot of car that I've replaced. Soon, so soon. We gotta keep pushing. I know this has been a lot for me, probably a lot for you guys too. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things. It helps me more than you know, and I'll see you in the next one.